So I remember when I was younger, just having low confidence, no ambition at all, and I was just super, super lazy. Prime example of this was in 8th grade. I remember just being in the basement, watching Netflix on the Wii. I think I was watching this show called like Sonic Underground while I was eating ravioli, and I was eating about like 2 pots of ravioli because I would ask my mom to pretty much just make like 2 pots of ravioli for me, and she would just do it because obviously my mom loves me and she just wanted to see me happy. But obviously this was very unhealthy, especially eating ravioli and mac and cheese almost every single day while watching a show, or even when I would just hop on Minecraft and just eat fucking Cheetos while playing. And just my keyboard was just super musty, dude. My room would start smelling because I just would not shower. And this carried on throughout high school. I remember as well just playing Minecraft like for 10, 12 hours a day on the weekends. I would be so excited just for school to just end, just so that the next day on a Saturday, I would wake up early. I would wake up like 6, 7 a.m. And the first thing I would do was literally just hop onto Minecraft. I wouldn't go downstairs, get some water, eat some food. No, I would just hop onto Minecraft right away. And I would either hop onto factions, make sure that my base wasn't raided, or I would just go ahead and play some Bed Wars on Hypixel. And that was for quite a while during 9th grade. Eventually, I kind of like during 10th grade just wasn't really playing video games as much. But I remember during quarantine, this really didn't help me out, and I really went back to playing a fuck ton of video games. I remember this one game, if y'all know, called Persona 5 on the PlayStation. It's pretty much like this JRPG, and it was so fucking fun, but the game was like over 100 hours. So I was literally binging on this game. I was playing for probably 4, 5, even 6 hours a day, just trying to beat this game. And I remember when I finally beat the game, I felt so happy. I felt like I accomplished something huge. But that was like the biggest thing that I was accomplishing in my life. Literally beating the final bosses of video games. And yeah, they felt satisfying, but what about my real life? Well, this was a bit different. I didn't really know what I wanted to do in my life. I didn't really have any ambition. I didn't really have any goals. And this was problematic, especially when it came to junior and senior year of high school. And these times were very, very stressful for me because I remember just my guidance counselor asking me over and over again, what do I want to do? And I remember in senior year just really trying to figure myself out. And my parents really just wanted to push me towards going to college. I didn't want to go to college. Eventually, I did give in and I was like, fuck it, because I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I really became depressed because it was when I was starting to realize that I wasted a lot of time playing video games, just caring about the final boss in the video games that I was playing, instead of really just caring about my real life. I neglected my real life so much to the point where I was 18 years old and I just did not know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know what job I wanted to work. I didn't know if I wanted to go to college, if I wanted to go to trade school. And this was very, very problematic. And even during college, during my first semester, I was the exact same. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I hated college. I just hated every second of it. And I would just be so excited for class to end just so that I could hop onto the video games. I remember during this time, I rediscovered my fucking PlayStation 2. And if y'all know these games called Jak and Daxter, so if you know the whole like Jak and Daxter trilogy, there's like 3 games to it. And I binged the absolute fuck out of those games. I was playing probably 6 to 7 hours a day on those games, trying to beat the whole trilogy. And eventually I did do that, but at what cost, man? Just for my mental health to just further deteriorate. And yeah, it really didn't help my case. It really just didn't help the fact that I just didn't have anything to work towards. Until one day, I'll ever grateful for when I decided to join this Muay Thai boxing gym around my area. I decided to join because I miss doing wrestling. Wrestling was like the one thing I was actually, somewhat ambitious about and something that I was chasing back in high school. Obviously, though, like after high school, there's not really much you can do with wrestling. So there wasn't really much for me. But with this Muay Thai gym, it gave me a bit of hope that maybe I could kind of get back to where I was in senior year of high school, where I was still, not as ambitious. I wasn't still as happy, but at least I was working towards something. I had like wrestling, which was something temporary, but it was still something I was working towards. When I went into Muay Thai and I started to train and I realized how hard as fuck it was and how shit my kicks were, this actually gave me motivation for the first time in my life. Or not for the first time, but probably the first time in a long time, where I started to get motivation to work towards something. And that's when when I started at first going 1 to 2 days a week, I eventually increased that, started to go 3-4 days a week. And during the summer, eventually I started to come in every single day and I started to work and I started to train really fucking hard, trying to work towards this goal of becoming better at striking, because my striking was shit. And I didn't want to just stay like shit. I wanted to work towards something. And during this time, my confidence increased. I started to lose weight. I started to feel better about myself. I started to really want to, grow as a person. I started to get into self-improvement. I started to take better care of myself, started to dress better. I started to meditate a lot. I started to have ambitious goals. I stopped playing video games nearly as much. I wanted to better myself, and the reason why all of these good things started to happen was because I had that goal of becoming better at Muay Thai. It wasn't really much of a goal. I didn't have at my mind at the time I want to take up a fight or anything like that. My goal was just getting better at Muay Thai because I just saw everyone else do so much better than me, and that just kind of pissed me off. So I was like, fuck it, I want to get better too. And that's something that's really awesome. When you have something to work towards, specifically in martial arts, that's when you start indulging in the good habits, and that's when your life starts to become better. So for example, if you're not lifting weights, or if you're not stretching, if you're not meditating, which meditate does actually correlate to martial arts, because for example, if you're not really meditating all that often, you might not be able to really focus on your coach demonstrating technique. So when you're not indulging in the good habits, trying to eat good, trying to eat clean, trying to work out as much as possible, then you're not going to become better at your martial art, compared to, okay, if I'm going ahead and I'm meditating every day, I'm stretching every day, I'm lifting weights, trying to get stronger, I'm trying to read more, I'm trying to learn more about the sport, I'm trying to just max out everything, just like a video game. You're trying to max out every single part of yourself. That's when you become better as a person, and that's really when you start to feel so much better. It all starts with you just chasing after something. It all starts with you just having a goal to really chase after and accomplish. So let me just tell you about some of my goals right now. So one of my goals right now is to become a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And just the other night, we had 3 people come from white belt to blue belt. And I'm really happy for those people, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I want to become a blue belt as well. And that's why I've been really working my ass off in the gym. Something as well too I want to do is compete in as many kickboxing smokers as possible, so I can compete at this promotion called Flex Series, where pretty much it has all these amateur kickboxing fights, and maybe eventually I take up an amateur MMA fight as well. So I have all these goals I'm working towards, and because I have all these goals I'm working towards, I'm really trying my best not to do any bad habits. I'm trying my best not to sleep super late or trying to play video games instead of me just working out at the gym and lifting weights, because I know if I indulge in bad habits, then I'm not going to get better, I'm not going to achieve these goals. But because I'm indulging myself in good habits, it's getting me closer to those goals, which is why I'm willing to do these good habits. So this all starts with you doing a martial art. So an action step I have for you is, for example, if you're in high school right now, try out the wrestling team. See how you like wrestling. Also too, look into if there's any other martial arts gyms in your areas. Maybe there's a boxing gym really close to you, and just try out a martial art, man. Because I promise you, if you're that kid that just doesn't have any goals right now, just keeps playing video games, doesn't really have something to chase towards, I promise you a martial art is going to change that, man. So that's what I would really do. I would try to look for a martial art gym around your area and try it out. Now, when it comes to martial arts, Mindset is the number one thing. If you don't have a good mindset at the end of the day, you're pretty much fucked when it comes to competition. So that's why I built a brand new course called The Fighter Mindset. Check it out, link is in the description below. I really think it's gonna really help you out build that indestructible mindset and dominate in competition. If you enjoy content like this, make sure to subscribe, and remember, my boys, stay active, stay busy, and most of all, stay hungry.